Hello, visionary entrepreneurs, life changers. How are you? Welcome back to our Momentum Monday. Today is our episode 162. We're talking about the ageless networking. How many of you, I'm wondering, especially our entrepreneurs, right? How many of you are interested in or you are a fan of networking? I would admit that me, maybe you would say you are introvert. You are not interested in networking. Maybe you are even like a little bit of fearful or like maybe you have some negative experience before, had some like frustrations to networking, right? I know that I had quite some like networking early years when I was when I was at the beginning of my career, or even like a beginning of my entrepreneurship as well. Like during that time as a young person, I'm always look forward to those networking events, right? So I tried different types of networking events, including in back then in China, like many years ago in China, Beijing, the capital city of China, and then in downtown Manhattan when I joined the Fortune 100 company headquarters in downtown Manhattan, next to Wall Street. And then during those years, I still remember I was attending all those like after work hours, right? Like go to the a bar, had some like drinking, had some like even some people are facilitating networking, and we even went to some fancy, either is like a club area, right? Like a coffee place or like a club area, and went to the rooftop, some fancy nighttime profile of Manhattan. All those kind of a different, and even I remember one interesting networking event was like people were hosting fashion events, very interesting, right? Like because they do not want people get bored if people just for drinking and networking, right? Most people will feel like they don't know what to talk too much and feel like a little bit awkward to network with other people. Hello, how are you? Carpona, how are you? Sending up, thank you. And so we're back to our Momentum Monday today. Okay, so talking about the networking, and I remember like one time is a fashion show. It's interesting. So like they invited some like people in fashion industry and models and did some fashion show, and this just like a combination events, right? Both networking and the fashion shows. So working for just like one stone for two birds, and working for different purposes. And the people had some at least like a theme. It's a themed networking events, right? So like different types of networking events. Some are, for example, alumni gathering events. That's also like networking, right? And I remember my executive MBA, I graduated from Rutgers University. They are actually based in New Jersey. They also had have the alumni association in Manhattan, in New York City. So they often had quite different types of alumni events, both in New Jersey and in New York. I attended quite a few of that, and some are like more interest in industry related. For example, I used to when earlier years when I just graduated school, I was in IT industry, so I networked with quite some like IT industry people, and later I transferred into transited, like I started an MBA, transited more into business area and into like a consulting and networks people like that. So it's all different. And one time I remember I went to a themed event. The main purpose is not really like networking; it's more for training, but all those training events is also great for networking because people have shared similar interests, right? And you go there to attend some training, get some knowledge. At the same time you can share just like build up connection with people share similar interests like a hobby like photography, right? Things like that. It's also interesting. I don't remember. Oh yeah, so all those years now I cannot believe that I've already been in like career in a career, right? In working for 28 years. And very interesting, this past, let's say, this past Saturday, I went to New Jersey to attend, let's say, alumni. They call it Joint Universities Alumni big event and also like a culture fest. Most of those alumni came from China. They are now, most of them are either working in New York or some of them are still in, maybe a majority of them because they're quite young. They're still in like these great universities, including from NYU, from Columbia University, from like other nearby universities, right? Like 3 states universities. So they all joined together. That's a joint universities alumni, and so it's quite a great. Both like open, but also like it's quite intimate connections. But this year they've already been hosting for quite a few years. This year they said they created a record, break a record, and there were over like 35, yes, 35 universities and organized together. That's a great joint power, right? Now we feel like do things together, you make it more bigger impact, right? And really they get invited, eventually they get invited thousands of people, and eventually ended up over 800 people join it. So that broke like a record. Imagine that day, Saturday, was quite, there was a heat, they called like a heat adversity in New York City. It's over 92 or 90, or almost close to 93 or 4 Fahrenheit. It's quite hot in New Jersey. What's that? It's a big. It's almost like a state park. I forgot the name. Overpack. Maybe it's like Overpack state park, big park. And the advantage of that place is that they have a beautiful center stage, and at the back of the stage was a like a lake. I guess it's a lake, and then the big lawn, beautiful, and many trees. A tree, but it's not as high as I had the trees over 100 years old around my neighborhood, Forest Hills. Their trees is like quite young, maybe like only 10, 15 years old, like that. So it's not much shade, but it's still like a beautiful place, right? The big green lawn and lake and the stage. So we had over 35 tents set up. So it's a huge, big place, open space. And, 35 schools and plus those sponsors, right? So I bet it's definitely over around 50 kinds of tents on that big lawn, facing facing a stage. And on the stage there's cultural performances and like people speaking. They even invited local, both the empathy representative, and also the let's say local senator. I think some like from government, some from business industries. So all the people gathered together. It's a beautiful feast. But what I want to see here is very interesting. By the way, I shared those pictures and even a short video they shoot from the those drone, right? Like without person, like this drone in the air, and to shoot those videos. It's beautiful. And I share that because today I want to share with you. It's like to my surprise. Initially, I knew that I'm quite to many of those alumni, right? I'm quite like a senior already. Can you imagine that? I was like a senior, but I was, to my surprise, I did not expect there's such a big gap, like from age, right? Age only. And when we talked about which, for example, which year we graduated. So when I shared with them, like I graduated which what year, it's last century. It's almost like about the end of last century. And some of them are laughing. They said, oh, by that time they were not born yet. What? They were not born yet. So that means when I graduated from the university, many of those young people, right, men and women, they have not, those younger alumni, they have not graduated yet. So to my surprise, but I also found quite a few like senior than me, much more senior than me. But me, almost like I feel like it's just like if you think like a unicorn, I felt like that way, like a unicorn. I was staying there. Majority are like very young people, very young people, and I felt like a lot of kind of an age gap, because when I chat with them, and many of them talking about their study or their career, not too much to share, but through our brief conversations, I learned about like they are very, very like beginners to me, considering about my 28 years of different careers, right? Experiencing both corporate world. Let me say how many, 13 years of corporate world, including working for Fortune 100 company, right? Including for working for international big corporations, and from banking, from IT industry, from finance industry, from consulting, and then from to coaching, right? Coaching, I had another, so far it's like 15 years of coaching as the abundance thought leadership coach, I've been doing this, my passion, this is my passion, my call for 15 years. So totally I've been working for 28 years. So when I talk with them, many of them have not started their formal career yet. They may have some like internship here and there, but they have not really started their life yet. And they don't know which is the right direction. And at that kind of like a crossroad, I said, oh, this is a perfect time for me to share some insights, right? Some of my experience and some like wisdom with them. And it's super interesting. And quite soon I just found what, even though I knew that I am almost like over 20 some years older than most of them, but both from pictures, you can check those pictures, from pictures from my face and my body shape, right? And I've been keeping myself healthy and doing exercises. I need to do more, but still, like I kept my shape, even much better than those young people. And and also the conversations, the most interesting. I'm always interested in conversations, right? They had a career consulting corner. They also had like a dating corner for those young singles, and the career consulting corner. There were people from, for example, major two industry, finance and IT. That's the two most like a popular and trendy industries, right? So they had some like experienced people, like alumni, staying there, like sharing their insights, sharing their experience and guidance to support other newer alumni, like newbies, right? So I was staying with my university's tent and chatting with those young alumni, and after they learned about my experience, they started consulting me, right? So I was providing some great really like insights and guidance for their career, for their direction, for their like what kind of resources to leverage. It's quite interesting. More and more I just found like we were so close. I did not prepare for any kind of like a business oriented networking. I was just like want to relax, have fun and enjoy kind of a alumni culture fest, right? But I just summarized a few key points I think can help you to really experience that later. I call this just like this title. I call it like a ageless networking. Even though like sounds like we had over 20 years of gap between me and those younger alumni. Then more and more after we had conversations, then they added me from our like social media, build up all this kind of contact, right? And some of them consulted me and we exchange information, resources like that. And then I found, wow, I did not really feel any kind of an age gap at all. Is except that I can definitely like provide more insights and experience to share with them than they can share with me. But I felt happy to give and to support them. So I summarized quite a few points, like no matter what age you are, because eventually you will get to like a more like older age than some other people, right? You will like let's say some of you maybe at the beginning at the earlier age, but later you will get to like older and even we could call like a little bit of senior age as well, right? So how could you at any age? I was joking with another alumni last night, and she was, most of them are just at the beginning of their 20s. Think about me, already past the 50, right? But from a picture, from a conversation, from the energy, oh my God, I just feel like I'm even much younger than many of them. And for example, that day was Saturday, was quite a heat adversity, right? We said like over almost 93 Fahrenheit, and we were in the open space in the park. Even though there is like a tent, but it's still like a quite we walk around, we went to the sponsorship, right? We watch the show, and there's a lot of time you were exposed in the sunlight, so it's super hot, and there was like a almost like a little bit of thunderstorm as well in the afternoon. So it's quite kind of a like changing, big changing kind of a weather, and it's humid, it's hot. So quite some young people, much younger people, they said, oh, this is too hard for me, I cannot stay long time. So quite some of them left earlier, and I surprised that I stayed till almost the very end, to with those young, with other younger people who can really sustain that, right? So I felt so proud of myself, because my energy could catch them, could match with them. And also through the conversations we did not get bored, and we just like a chat, we just had very like a casual, relaxed kind of a conversations, and really build up some good connections. And I built up, and then after I returned home, I just reviewed how many people I built up connections. I just found over a dozen. over a dozen. So that's great. And I could remember each person. So I took notes on the social media and change the name, alias, how do you call that? It's just like put some description so I can remember those people's. I found myself, I can remember almost every one of those connections I built up. And for example, their name, their like which school they graduated, and which year, what kind of major they're studying, what they're pursuing, things like that. So I put the notes there. So next time when I check their contact, for example, after months later, right, we will, if you want to contact each other, you can still remember, because you check the records or the description of that social contact you build up, then you, that can remind you where you met each other. And so many people, very interesting, okay, many people, they do not want to put their original name, for example, in their social media name, and their background as well, right? So a lot of people were like anonymous on social media. So that's why if you connect with some people, build up contacts, add each other, then right away you want to add their like information you learned about them, their background information you want to add to the description about either like the edited name. In I know in like in a WeChat we can do that. I don't know in other social media on Facebook or not. You can do that or not, but at least you can do some things to manage your contacts. Okay, so use those features as much as you can find. Either update the name to put some like let's say like a description about this person into your name, or you can add into a description. Anywhere you can put some notes there, so that next time you check this person, you know where you met, and what kind of events and what he talked about, and what's this person's background, right? And you know their what's their interest, and this is a great for the first thing actually. I would say that I summarize the 4 C's to see how we can build up ageless connection, ageless networking. So the first one actually is curiosity. By the curiosity, you are not focusing on yourself, okay? You are focused on the other person. You really like curious. Oh, what is this person about? What did he or she study, and what's their interest, what they want to pursue, or what's their like rough idea, right? So for their future, what kind of dreams they want to pursue, or what kind of a life they are looking forward to build, and any kind of a interest, anything, right? All this kind of a, and which school, right? And all this kind of related information, I just based on my curiosity, I connect a lot of information and then I put it into the description. So this person, like any, and one by one, for this kind of networking, you do not want to rush. There's some kind of like a networking machine type of person, right? They just want to, within limited time, they just want to get to know more people. That's a little bit like a traditional networking. People just prepare the name card. Now most people do not prepare a name card, right? That's in the professional world. Some people are still doing that. They just quickly, whoever they share the name card, and briefly greeting to each other and chat a few words, and then they say goodbye and they move on to the next one. It's just like they call it almost like a quick match, right? It's not for dating, but a quick match for networking. I experienced that type of networking a few times. I don't think that will work. It sounds like it's efficient, and you give out more your name cards, and you also connect back more name cards, but does not make any sense. How many of you throw away quite some like name cards after, let's say, sometime after a while, after the networking events, and many of them maybe you never build a connection with them, right? You never even contact each other. You just connected those name cards, put it on your table, and after a while, you could not remember any one of them, and then you ended up maybe throw away, right? Those name cards. And similar situation for your name cards as well. You just quickly give to other people. They will put on their desk, and similar to you, they would just throw away after a while if they could not. They feel like a immediate need to connect with you, right? So don't do that. Don't rush. Networking, don't rush. Don't think like, oh, within this short time, I will try to connect as many name cards or get to know as many people as possible. That's not the right mindset or objective for networking. For networking, you need to really be who you are. Be the authentic and genuine you. and enjoy that time together, build up genuine connection. That's the most important thing. Important things, like really have fun at the event. And then it's just like a build the real connections at the same time. Don't pursue the quantity, okay? Pursue the quality. So, for example, yeah, this Saturday, I was totally like relaxed. I did not really had much agenda with me. Oh, for example, some people are very like targets oriented. They say, oh, to this events I need to meet how many people. For example, they target 50 people, right? They prepare 50 cards and they say I must meet those people, put on my contact list, and then I will follow up with them, like that, right? So that's too, I think, like it's too goals oriented, and then they miss the quality part. So don't, of course, you want to focus on build up more, right? Of course, we want more great connections, but at the same time, you want to follow the flow. I would say follow the flow on a networking event, because every networking event is totally different. For example, this specific one, this Saturday just happened in the past Saturday, is the alumni joint universities alumni like a culture fest. It's supposed to be like we also share the lunch together, like quite some like activities, cultural activities, and so you do not want to be too much professional and business oriented. This is more like it's a weekend, and for alumni it should be relaxed, right? It's focused on the culture and connections. So you want to be relaxed, but at the same time you want to remember these 4 C's. So that will help you to really build up ageless networking. So first C is really, like I mentioned, the curiosity. Curiosity is very important. That means like you are not self-centered. When you go networking, do not just focus on your goals, your objective, your agenda, and just want to, how to say, give out more your name cards and let more people to follow you, something like that, right? That's too much, like I would say, selfish for networking. You want to be there to be curious. You want to know more interesting people and meaningful people, that you want to build up meaningful connections. And in long run, you can support each other, benefit each other, but don't pursue short-term targets. Okay, focus more on long-term meaningful relationships, long-term like win-win-win situations, right? So not in that way you will not be in a rush. You will not be in like urge, oh, I must after I chat just 2 sentences and I go to the next person, right? You will not rush. So you will just like calm down, relax, enjoy the moment, follow the flow, right? And eat the food you want to eat, and explore some like for example, cultural events. Like we write this calligraphic, and also like did some art craft kind of a project, and even there's some sponsors even for like trading stuff. I register for that. So it's just like enjoy this event, be fully present, and focus on long term, and then have conversations. Okay, that's the second one. The first one is curiosity. The second one is meaningful conversations. Conversation is very important. That kind of conversation is really say how you could really like support each other. Okay, conversations, meaningful conversations. So with the curiosity, you want to learn about this person, who they are, what they do, what they're like learning or exploring, what they're working for, and what's their interest, and what they're like care about, or what they're pursuing, things like that. Okay, just like even though you may never met each other before, like strangers, but you want to know, you want to like chat like friends. Okay, like a long time no seeing friends just gather together, that kind of a feeling. Okay, so then you both of you will enjoy it. People will sense that if you are in a hurry, just want to network, and people sense that, will share your way. But if you are genuine there, fully be present, enjoy it, and have your curiosity to learn about the other person, really care about, is really like have a conversation with them, and people will share more with you. And they also find your value. What's your value? So this is a second C, right? It's a conversation. The third C is the, let's say, it's a caring part. Actually, really the caring part, not just curiosity, you want to understand each other, but the through the conversation you also want to show that you care the other person. Otherwise people do not want to share too much with you, because they will sense that very people are, everybody, nobody is like is stupid. Okay, everybody is actually very smart and sensitive, and they know that they can sense that if you really care or not, or you just care about yourself, right? If you really care another person, I remember even following the event, somebody like added me, alumni added me, want to join our alumni group. I added her, and eventually there's some like a misunderstanding. People say, oh, maybe she's a spam, she's not our part of our alumni, and the how to say, the group admin kicked her out and say, oh, they just heard from somebody said, oh, she's a spam, right? And then they just kicked her out. I feel like, oh, hold on, don't rush, okay? Let me ask her. So I follow up with her, and to ask her, like, for example, the information about her study with our university, and ended up she started through like she had a certificate through like online learning. But most of the people did not expect that, right? Most people get used to like traditional learning, on campus learning. They did not know the university may also like issued like online certificate, right? So even though they are still like trying to verify that with the university, but at least this kind of possibility, right? Give people the fairness and the opportunity to clarify and to verify themselves, right? So that's why I helped her and the administration, and because also the management of the group, and also the whole group communication, to help her eventually to clarify the situation, and to also protect her like reputation, right? So people will not badmouth her, and eventually they added her back into the group. I felt very happy for that, even though they are still trying to like get into further step of verification. But at least through my mediation, I would say that like a mediation and a conversation and a caring, especially my caring, and people build up bridge. I feel very happy for that, and to reduce the like misunderstanding and also negativity things, right? So that's great for both sides, like win-win-win. So I was very proud of that. So caring is important. If you do not care, most people will not like really go extra step to help other people. They would just say, oh, that's spam, ignore them. And yeah, many people I found now, it's just like that kind of a rush, and let's say, and not very careful to deal with situation like this. They just so kick them out, don't care about them, and don't listen to them. They're just spam, and they just, once they make that mind, they do not open for other possibilities. So that's not good. So that's why the caring is very important, right? I'm very glad through my caring, that's just my genuine self, and I helped to solve this issue and the situation, and that made everybody felt like relieved, and had a peace, and also like could have a better future cooperation. And that's a wonderful thing. Okay, so that's a third thing, caring. And the fourth thing is what? Creating value. Initially I was thinking value, but then creating value, okay, with another C as a fourth C. Creating value, that's super important. Like for example, the value does not necessarily need to be your, let's say, either a major or your expertise. For example, I volunteered to be like to join their carpool sharing group to provide car pickup and lift up. How do you call that? Like a pickup transportation. Because I drive a car to the New Jersey, I could pick up another 4 people, right? I give the 4 seats available to share with other alumni, even though not necessarily my own universities, but other joint universities people. So I volunteered in that group, and get 4 people from different places. One from like Queens, another 3 from like Manhattan. So I did quite some like detours to pick them up, and we went to the party in time. And then when we finished the party, and I sent them back, even though at our returning route, I would say, because it's afternoon and there's a much bigger traffic from New Jersey back to New York, and we went through the Manhattan as well. Because of that, the detour, I drove almost like over 1 hour, more than 1 hour. So that's quite tired after a whole day in the sun nights, right? It's quite like a little bit tired. And then I drove that long time and drop off the 4 people. I feel like, oh my God, my energy was quite like a little bit exhausted at the end of the trip, because like afternoon is a little bit drowsy, and in the sun, in the heat, and also the traffic from New Jersey to Manhattan, that's a lousy traffic. But I'm glad at the end, even though I was tired after I get home, I had to lie down on the sofa to catch up my energy. And eventually at nighttime to went to swimming with my family members to wake myself up, really like get some coolness and wake myself up. But I was happy that I contributed value. Both actually. On site, I provided consulting, provided advice, provided guidance, and to help those like young people, alumni, right? To give them a direction, give them like some insights how they can find their future direction and find their ideal job, and also maybe in entrepreneurship as well, right? And at the same time, I also provided extra help to pick up people and deliver them home and send them off home, right? So this is like a great values I was being contributing. And after the event, I also was sharing the pictures and also like helping adding those new alumni and newbies right into our group. So I did all these kind of things like to provide values, not really like pursuing any kind of from a professional angle, not really pursuing really like any business rewards. Maybe in the long run, I don't know. Maybe in the long run, but I did such kind of thing many times. Many of them did not directly generating any kind of a business benefits for me at all. But I still enjoyed it. I feel like whenever I can give, I give. Whenever I can support and help, I help. So that's like part of the ageless networking. If you want to really like connect great genuine connections with other people across any kind of age, okay? And I remember I also chatted very well with those senior alumni and also those the new ones. We all had a great conversation, and through the caring, through the giving, the creative values, I feel that that kind of a connection is very genuine, and can pass the time test. And very interesting because of all this kind of a value giving. And after it's like today's Monday, right? Already 2 days passed, and still people are reaching out to me and connect with me and ask me to either add them to a group or they just want to build up a connection with me. So that's wonderful, right? So that's actually to the last one, the connection part. The five now it's 5C. Okay, 5C. The last C is really like a meaningful connections that could last longer time, because you do not just want to add people into a contact just to increase more contact names, right? You want like add each other, build up the genuine connection, and support each other. And very interesting, like a example from today actually. I brought my son to YMCA for lifeguard trainings things, right? We actually did not get the chance there because that's a free opportunity and there's so many people waiting, so their schedule is not working for us and we could not wait any longer. My son is going to college, so we decided to search for some other paid program, right? And ended up we did it. Let's thank God for that. And but the thing is like while we were still in YMCA, even though we did not get a chance, before we almost ready to leave, and there were two people, like actually Chinese young men. They just immigrated to the U.S. Their English was poor, right? So the YMCA front desk lady, she's a Korean, and she asked us for anybody can help us translate. So I volunteered to translate. I even encouraged my son to join us to listen and to help like in the middle. And of course, my Chinese is better than my son. He's born in the U.S. He Chinese, he can listen, but not so fluent. But he can still like support. So I helped them through the whole session. I could not remember, almost like over 30 minutes. They helped them to register two new members from China, right? New immigrants. And those two men were so grateful. And they added me through social media, added me and thanked me, and ended up they're barbers. They're so, oh, like welcome you to our place to cut your hair or whatever, right? Or encouraging my son to go. So okay, thank you. We did not expect for such kind of favor, but it's feeling like wonderful, right? When you help other people without any expectation, you did not like really want to get any benefits or get any kind of a return, right? And you're surprised to get people's gratitude, and that's great enough already, right? So we build up a connection, and for the meaningful connection, it's really like you want to show gratitude. You also want to support each other. And by the way, because tomorrow morning, the lady front desk lady, as a reminder them, will bring their credit card back for the membership, continuous auto like payment. So today they paid cash, and so tomorrow morning I actually will do them the favor. Tomorrow morning I will send a message to remind them to bring their credit card back to that front desk, right, in case they may forget. Otherwise, that will impact their membership to continue. And yeah, just you want to provide a continuous value and also build up the meaningful connections. Like the connections really like the meaningful means like you want to be valuable to other people, and at the same time do not expect anything back. Okay, just give other people more favors. I told my son, I said, don't expect any return. The universe knows it, right? Anytime maybe you get some surprise rewarding, that's totally out of our control, but don't expect anything back. Just enjoy, simply enjoy helping other people, giving people like values, right? And that even that kind of a feeling, giving the feeling is much better than you receiving, right? Many of you agree with that. I hope every day you have some opportunity to give. So this final C is like a connection, genuine connection. So I want to quickly review. Number one, curiosity. Number two is that conversation, meaningful conversation. Number three, caring, right? Do that, go that extra mile to help other people. And fourth is create value. And number five is build up like a meaningful long-term connections. So those things, those 5 C's will really help you build, have that kind of ageless networking. I just feel like totally that kind of energy through the Saturday till now. Today's Monday already. I still have this energy. When I was chatting with some like a 20-year-old, like maybe half age of me, like those young alumni, and she felt like she was understood by me. And we were chatting and sharing some interesting like a social media thing and some new learning or even like arts. She has an interest in arts. I also have passion in arts, so we share some of our understanding about the arts, some like specific either like from concept and also the practice. That's very interesting. I just found and build up this kind of connections. And I just felt like, wow, I did not feel any kind of age gap at all. I was joking with her. I said, wow, I did a psychological test online. I really did that. And it said I had a psychological age 18. And I was joking. I said, I will stay at this forever for the rest of my life. So I will not get any older, right? Even though my biological age will keep growing, but my psychological age, that means that my energy will always be that kind of like blossom like 18 years old, right? And always have that kind of curiosity, that kind of creativity and energy. So like she totally agreed. Like we had quite some like interesting conversations back and forth and build up some like early friendship. I don't know where will this all these kind of connections or relationship will go. Some of them may never really like have next. It's just like you cross with those people, right? Some of them you cross the road one time and maybe never cross again. It's totally fine. And maybe even though they are staying on your contact list, they will still like keep like strangers. Maybe you will not really get in touch with each other for many years. That's totally fine, right? That's totally fine actually. Just be present at this moment. You build up a connection, you feel like that's great. And for some of them, among that pool of connections like relationships, you may build up a few great ones, right, for long term. Who knows? Just be totally open for it. And for that, you can really enjoy the networking. And it's like feel like ageless networking. I mean, like many people when they get older, like my age, I guess, because I did not see quite some people at my age still going to such kind of alumni networking. They think, oh, that's a young people thing. So that's why I just met just a few, right? Those a few I would applaud to them because they had that curiosity, that kind of courage to go to the networking to meet the younger people. And I think I will actually, when my kids now, my son, older son is going to college. My daughter still have 2 years. But I believe now, after 2 years, I will be even more active in networking because I get more time, right, when by myself. When kids will become like they said, empty nesters, I will get more time to network. And I totally have that confidence that I will always have this kind of ageless networking to build up great, genuine, and long-term connections. How about you? Are you afraid of going to those networking? Are you just most times staying by yourself and hesitating to go to any kind of like events? let me know, okay? Just comment, feel free to comment under my video. I know that if you are like extrovert, right? Maybe it's very easy for you just to want to, some people are just like social butterflies, right? Want to go everywhere. It's just a piece of a cake for you. But I know that in my life, quite some introverts, including my son, introverts, they are afraid of going to such kind of a networking events, right? Even my like a prom, my son is graduating this year from high school. He was afraid of to go in there, or maybe they say, oh, it's bored. They think it's bored, but deep in their bottom heart, they are just like afraid of something, right? Social networking and talking, conversations, meaningful things, right? People are afraid that. I'm wondering, where are you now? Are you challenge yourself to get out of a comfort zone, to build up more, to really go to networking and just enjoy that kind of, I call ageless networking, and really enjoy those, like use that 5C strategies I just shared with you, right? Like curiosity, conversation, um, caring, let's say, let me remember that, creating value and build up long-term connections, right? Those 5Cs, use that, so that I really would wish that you will enjoy more and more meaningful networking, build up more meaningful, like mutual beneficial relationships and connections, right? We are all like human beings, even though like social persons, even though you may be introvert. I'm actually like a loud introvert. I would rather, for example, if sometimes if I have a choice, I would rather to read a book by myself, enjoy the nature, right, than going to a big events. But when I feel like the big events is meaningful, when I go there, I would be fully present, use the 5C strategies and build up great connections. And I felt very fulfilling for that event. And now when I review my connections from the social media, even though it's from social media, we still have some ongoing conversations and to support each other. I'm supporting them, and maybe someday they may find me more values to support them as well. Who knows, right? So like I said, some of them may cross the road, never like cross the road again, but some of them maybe like let's say it's just like a, who knows, like the universe have a, like now you cross the road, and in the future maybe other opportunities you cross the road again, and through different times we get to know each other more, and through maybe the future more events we get to know each other, and even through the conversations, sharing resources, support each other, and even like referrals, whatever, right? All these ways we could support each other, and life just become more enriched, more interesting with all this kind of diversity and also different gifts and talents, right? So I would wish you will enjoy more ageless networking, no matter what age you are now. Okay, now and in the future, you will always enjoy such kind of a ageless networking. Okay, so I hope today's episode helps you a little bit, and let me know. Feel free to comment under video. Let me know if this is helping. What's your inspiration and what is the takeaway? And would you challenge yourself to really try more and to use that 5C strategies, and let me know how it worked for you. Okay, and by the way, this Thursday, not like usually, we this Thursday we will not have our as usual mastermind, no, not a mastermind, master class. Normally on Thursday we have a master class teaching how to launch your profitable and impactful online business in 90 days and stand out as confident expert and thought leader in your ideal field. We normally teach at the masterclass on Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. But this week, because I will travel to Denver, and so with my daughter to attend like a big event, and so I scheduled that for next Thursday. But even though that, I will still share the link so you can register in advance, okay? So everyone, wish you enjoy today's momentum and have a wonderful week. And also everyone enjoy the summer. The summer is coming, and enjoy more swimming time. And I know now my son is enjoying his lifeguard training, and we'll cross our fingers that he will get his lifeguard certificate by this weekend. And so everyone enjoy this summer, and we will have more talk. Let me know how your networking is working for you. Okay, how you are practicing our today's teaching about the ageless networking. I'm very curious about your progress. Let me know. Okay, just share. All right, that will be wonderful. We'll see you soon, and we will talk more. All right, always comment and make sure always I return, like I reply you. Okay, so we'll have a meaningful conversation online as well, even though we may not meet each other in person right away, but maybe in the future, in the near future or far future, who knows that? As long as we can build up really like a genuine conversation and a meaningful, provide a meaningful values and really care and be curious to support each other, like in-person networking and online networking will all work for us. Okay, but of course, like I would look forward to meeting you in person someday when I may visit your place, your city. Let me know where you are located, and maybe next time I travel, I will contact you and then let's meet. Okay, everyone, hope you enjoy this week and we'll see you soon. Talk with you soon. Okay, take good care. Bye bye.